Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take care of a money formatter. So for example, if you look at this number 0, it fits totally fine into this button. But then let's say we had this number here, or even that number. So at one point, it wouldn't look very good. But what if I said, let's have instead this value here. So 1 billion or 13.5 billion, for example. Okay, so something like that would be a lot more manageable in terms of our UI. So let's create a formatter that will help us with that. So let's go ahead and create a new script. And I'm going to call this one money formatter. Now, if we look at this money formatter here, it is inheriting from mono behavior, but we don't want that. We don't want this script to follow any of this Unity stuff. This will be a class that we create as a helper class, which will help us to format our money. And I'm going to make this a static class, so it will only allow for static methods and variables, but that is fine because what we want to be able to do is to use this money formatter in our different classes, and it's not going to be assigned to any of our game objects that we have created so far. So let's go ahead and design or write this game formatter. We want to add only one method for now, which is also a static method called format money. So let's go ahead and create this method. And what this format money should do is it should get a big integer and it should format it into a string, which it will return. So format money gets a value and returns a string. In order for us to be able to use this big integer here, we need to make sure that we add this using system.numerics. Now our code is still complaining because we're not returning anything. So let's think about what this formatter should do for us. It should do the following. Let's say we have a value of 500, then it should display 5k. If we have a value of 200,000, it should display 200k. If we have a value of 6 million, then it should display 6m. If we have a value of a billion, then it should display 1b. Okay, so that's what this money formatter should do. That's the job of this formatter. So first of all, we will assume our number is less than 1000. And in that case, we don't need to format our money. So let's first of all create a new string here. So this is our default money format. And I'm going to say string money format will be whatever the value will be this value here. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to return the formatted money. So here, let's make a string out of money format euro value. So whatever that is, saying the euro, and it will display the value at the position of the format. So now this money format is just going to take the number that we're getting and we'll make a string out of it and we'll add the euro to it. So that's what our method does so far. But that's not what we want, right? At least not if the number is bigger than, let's say, 1000. So let's use this code here to take care of the format once the money is bigger than 1000. So the value that we're getting is bigger than 1000. So what this will do is it will take one string object as a number and will remove 3 zeros from it because we have a comma. So 1 comma is going to get rid of 1 0. So for example, if the value says something like 2000, it will instead do 2 and then k. Okay, so that's what the code will do for us. So that's what this format will do for us, this here. Okay, and now let's do the same thing for million. So let's take the million value here, which is what I'm going to put advanced or in advance here. So if the value is greater than 1 million or equal 1 million, then use 2 commas. So the commas means get rid of the 2 commas. So if the value now is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, so 2 commas, get rid of the commas and everything past it and replace it with an M. So now 1 million would be displayed as 1M because that's what this M does for us. That's why we have these 2 commas that we're getting rid of. So that's what this format will do here. And now if we go even further, if we now go to 1 billion, we need to take care of that as well. So here, let me add that for billions, for millions, and here for thousands at the bottom. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and well, 9 zeros. So 1 with 9 zeros, that's 1 billion. And we're formatting and we're getting rid of 3 commas. So it's the same as if it was something like this here. And actually not like this, but like this. So we're getting rid of this comma, that comma. And then we're creating the conversion here. We're getting rid of the 3 commas and the numbers that are following it and adding a B. So for this value, instead of displaying 1 billion, it will display 1B. So for now, this will be fine. But later on, if we are adding bigger numbers and even bigger buildings, then we might have to adjust it a little bit. So let's apply this format money method, this one here that we created, in our code. So let me save the script and use it in our other project files. And that means specifically in the start method of our building here. Okay, so let's go over to the start method over here. And the button text should not just use the cost, but instead, and we're also not going to convert it into a string anymore, we're going to instead use our money formatter dot format money, and we're going to pass in the cost. So now we don't need to convert the cost into a string anymore like we did before, but we're going to format it into the format that we want to have. So you see, we can use money formatter dot format money because money formatter is a static class. Okay. Now, of course, accordingly, we need to do the same thing with our update UI methods. So here, update profit UI. So we want to do the same thing with the profit. Let's do that. Let's pass in the profit, which is also a big integer, right? And now let's do the same thing with our next upgrade cost here. So let's pass the next upgrade cost in there like so as well. So let's format next upgrade cost into the right format that we want to have. And then let's save this and go to our money manager and see if we have anything working with numbers here. And I think we do. There is something called UI here, update money UI. So let's look at this method. And here we need to convert the money which we're passing into this format as well. So let's use this format money to convert our money into that format. So if the money is 10,000 euros, it will now display 10k euros. Now accordingly, I won't need to state euro here anymore. I can get rid of that. Let's save our script. Let's go back to Unity and let's test it. Therefore, we can play around a little bit with the values. So let's first of all set up the building, and you see the euros, that already seems to work. Okay, with the upgrade, let me see, with the building upgrade building UI, I have the keyword euro here still. So let me get rid of this as well. And let's save it once again. Now it should display it correctly. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so that works. Now let's go ahead and play around with the upgrade value. So the profit multiplier, let's set it to 1000. You can see here, now it's growing by 1k per round. So let's increase that to 1 million. Now you see we're at millions now. And let me go into the billions. You see now we're talking about the billions here. So the profit is going up. We're getting rich. Now let's upgrade. Boom, 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 boom. And now we can even go into negative money because we exceeded the value. So that's how we can basically get to a point where our game crashes. But it's still, these values are not going to be achievable within the first couple of weeks or whatever, because we're talking about insane multipliers that are used here. So for testing purposes, I really exaggerated. Okay, but we are ready to work with big numbers. So let's have a look at adding the other buildings in the next video.